ISO 14001 talks about an environmental management system. When talking about the environment, we are referring to any type of activity within your organization that could have an impact on the environment. Essentially, what we are focusing on when implementing this standard is that we are seeing that your organization reduces the negative impact on environment and reduces the pollution that is generated by your organization. This can relate to air pollution, noise pollution, light pollution, pollution in waters, or pollution in land through the form of waste generation. So by implementing this management system, you are going to make sure that you are fully focused on the needs of the environment relevant to your organization. And one of the most important benefits when it comes to ISO 14001 certification is that you will be working within the legal regulations. An important element of ISO 14001 is that we identified relevant laws and regulations pertaining to your industry, and we make sure that your organization is actually following such requirements. We will also make sure that when you are certified, you will be improving the processes within your organization, and therefore you might be reducing the cost of operational relevance for your business, in the sense that by identifying ways in which we can reduce pollution, we might find ways in which we can use or reduce rather the materials that are needed during your operation. ISO 14001 certified companies have the benefit that they are seen in a positive light by other stakeholders within industry. These can relate to suppliers or customers who would be very happy to work with an ISO 14001 certified company. The final benefit is that given that you will be operating within all legal requirements relevant to the environment for your organization, therefore you might experience lower insurance premiums because you will be diligently acting on all legal requirements for your organization. And this type of certification is relevant to most industries, okay? Typically, it is mostly used by companies who generate a lot of waste, for example, construction companies, freight forwarders, manufacturing companies, but really and truly, this standard can be employed by any organization that feels or understands its responsibilities when it comes to protecting the environment. Right now, there are some excellent funding opportunities for companies operating in Malta who can tap into such funding opportunities to recover most of the costs relating to implementing this type of management system. As an approved advisor by Malta Enterprise, I can help you to identify and tap into the right funding opportunities for your organization. And the implementation process for ISO 9001 is mainly split into 5 major steps. First of all, we have the introductory session whereby we will be meeting with one another and we will identify ways in which I can help you to implement this type of management system within your organization. If we feel that we can work with each other, I will then explain the type of funding opportunities that are available for your organization, and I can also guide you to identify the exact figure that you will be getting from the government of Malta as funding to implement such a management system. Should you be accepted by the government of Malta to receive such funds, then we can start working together, and the first step would be to map out the current systems, checks and balances that your organization has in place to protect the environment. After we have successfully mapped out the current systems that you have in your organization, then we will compare those to what the requirements of the ISO 14001 standard are. And through that, we will be able to identify a gap, okay, between what your organization is doing right now to what the ISO 14001 standards requires of your organization to make sure that you are successfully protecting the environment. When the gap analysis is complete, we would have identified a list of actions that is important for your organization to meet all the relevant requirements. With that, we will start the implementation, which mainly consists of training the relevant people to know what type of activities they will need to do for the organization to meet all the requirements of the ISO 14001 standard. Once the implementation has been complete, the next step would be to do a review. During this review, we will audit the processes relevant for your environmental management system to make sure that they are compliant with the requirements of the standard. If this approach seems something that your organization can benefit from, please feel free to browse through this website and on the ISO certification page also of this website to have a full picture of the implementation process and get more information about the funding opportunities. If you have any questions or would like to set up a meeting to discuss further, I would be very happy to meet up to help you out in this implementation process. Thank you.